Hello and welcome back to Against the Storm. In our last episode, or rather series of episodes, we played through their first town in this brand new save for the 1.0 release, and it was called Trader's Rest. And we made it 8 years into the game before we finally finished, which means that we have 24 more years to go in the Blight Storm. But what we didn't do at the end of the last episode, due to time, was we didn't go into the Smoldering City, take a look at the deeds we earned from completing that city, and also look at the upgrades panel to see what we wanted to purchase. So let's go in there. We unlocked 10 deeds. The first one, First Steps, finish your first game after the tutorial. That gives us the Viceroy's headquarters, which is a fundamental upgrade. Your own little corner in the Smoldering City, a place where you can rest, collect trophies, and learn about the world. So that gives us no experience, but gives us that feature. We also earned several here that are XP based. They all give us, I think, all gives 50 experience points. And there are a couple even that give us achievements in the launcher of choice, in this case, Steam. First Real Expedition, winning a game in the Royal Woodlands biome on Settler difficulty or higher will give us just 50 experience points, but also throws that achievement out into Steam. And there's another one here that goes with it, which is winning a game on Pioneer. That gives us that achievement, but it also gives us the pipe. As an essential building. This is a comfort decoration, a green class decoration, and so it can be used in place of the park that I was using the last time, or rather 4 of them can be used in place of the park. So let's take that, just because it kind of goes with the other one. Then we also completed 10 orders, which there were 11 in that town because we played on Pioneer, so we can take that. And that gives us a 100 XP, which actually got us to another level. I clicked too fast, but they gave us some awards for completing that level. We can probably take a look at what those are through another method. Not sure. Trading goods worth 50 amber, also a good thing to accomplish in your first town. Winning a game after completing 5 glade events. That's good. Don't let the Queen's patience grow above 6 in a single game. And there's actually more of that one as well, where don't let it go above 4 or 2 or whatever the numbers might be in some sequence, some subsequent ones in that sequence. Winning a game with at least 40 villagers. We had 56, I think. That gives us a lamp, which is a blue class, an aesthetics class decoration. Win a game with 0 villagers dying. And that gives us also some awards here, getting us to level 3, new citadel upgrades, which is it's just another tier of those, but also some buildings that we didn't have before: guild house, clan hall, and distillery, as well as filling dish cornerstone, rebellious spirit cornerstone, and safe haven cornerstone. Now we had some of these at the last level that I of course didn't show you, but then we win a game near the Royal Outpost modifier, which gives us the landscape painting home decoration. Let's take that. Actually, there are a lot more than 10 because it's, no, that's it. So that's the last one we got. So you can see there's a lot more, of course, here to get, like many, many, many more. We're going to do those in a little bit. The game history, will that tell us? No, they won't tell us what we unlocked at level 2 either. So now that we've unlocked levels 3 and 4, rather, we have now a lot of the upgrades tree available to us here. Starting out with these ones down here, we can unlock anything that's at the bottom of a tree. So this one's locked to us though, because we don't have the machinery just yet. So we can't get the one that has this, the Vanguard Spire level 1, which has the base stat of Gathering Technique, which gives us additional charges on resource nodes. And we cannot get the Human House Essential Building just yet. And of course, if you remember in that series, or that little mini-series, we had one offer for the human house as a blueprint. This removes it from the blueprint pool and gives it to you from the start of every town, which is useful for a couple of reasons. One, you can have it for sure. And for 2, it takes it out of the blueprint pool, which means that it won't take up a spot when you get to roll for a blueprint. So since we can't do that one, we can take a look at the rest of these. The next one here is Unforeseen Riches. You gain a permanent +1 boost to the global chance of producing double yields, and an embarkation bonus of villagers. Now, I like to take the villagers. Oftentimes, it's 2 or 3 villagers for one expedition points. So that's really good to take. So I may take that one. We have 43 food to spend, so we can buy a couple of these, by the way. The next one here is Everlasting Flames. That gives us the plus 2% permanent 2% reduction to fuel consumption in hearths. Now, if you remember, we took that bonus that had the 25% fuel reduction as a perk. This I'm not sure how this stacks with that. Those might be the additive effect of all of these, because you get it at every level, or nearly every level, of this Monastery of the Vigilant Flame. It may or may not stack additively with that. It may be a multiplicative effect, so adding these together to multiply against the base, and then adding that together to multiply against that result. I'm not sure which way it goes, but either way, they do stack in some manner. We also have the second level of the Obsidian Archive, which gives us an additional minus 2% to the speed at which the Queen's Impatience grows. We had the first one of those, of course, at the start of it, because we got the 10 food stockpiles from the tutorials that we didn't actually do. And then here, more Citadel resources. You gain 10% more Citadel resources whenever you finish a settlement. I'd like to take this one as soon as possible, because that way we can buy more things when we're here in the upgrades tree. Here we have a villager speed increase, so that we get a permanent 2% increase to the walking speed of every villager, and an embarkation point. You can spend this on resources and bonuses before starting a new settlement. Those are the 3 embarkation points we have. If we take this, we'll get a 4th one. Over here, these are a little bit more expensive, so I may not go with these just yet, but this one will give us a base stat increase, 2% boost to global production speed, and the next level of the Hearth upgrade, which actually is really good to do, because that also gives production speed boost, but probably not as critical or as important as some of these other ones. And then here, trade routes as a fundamental upgrade, as well as a permanent 3% bonus to trader arrival speed. So remember, we started out at 12 minutes. We got the perk that reduced it by 25%. This will speed them up even more, and again, those two will stack together in some manner. But the perk, of course, is you have to find it and take it in the town. So I think I would like to do this, because the trade routes are an interesting aspect of the game. But I'd also like to take a look at what these second tier ones here are, because I'd like to see where this is leading. And so, like, if I take the Citadel resource modifier, what will I get in the next tier? Because sometimes that'll influence my decision making. Sometimes it'll even go up 2 tiers, but sometimes it'll influence my decision making as to which one I want to take right now. So what this unlocks is, of course, again, additional impatience, patience, because it is a negative impatience speed gain, but also consumption control, which is an advanced control of where you can limit what is consumed, both food and services, as well as coats, wherever you classify coats as, since it's kind of in between the two. As well as by whom. So you can say, well, okay, lizards can't consume incense, but humans can at a service building that burns incense, whether that's the temple or the other one that I don't remember right now, monastery. So that's a pretty good one. I talked about wanting to have this as part of, or during the last town, but it's not as critical to me. An additional cornerstone choice, though, could be. Right now we're having to choose between 2 cornerstones. This gives us a 3rd, and then there's a way to get a 4th too, I think, maybe via a modifier tile or perk, maybe, but this is actually a good thing to get too. So looking at all of these, I think I want to take the embarkation point, but I also want to make sure that I take the villagers. So let's do both of those, and then let's choose between one more to take, between these, to pick one more to take. And I think I want to take the Citadel resource boost, because that means we can get 2 more things at any given time. So let's take that, and that locks us out. We are done. All the numbers are red. Let's see. One other thing we should take a look at. We've looked at the game history to show kind of that come back up, but just to kind of see it again, the things that you unlocked as far as blueprints goes. Over here are the different cornerstones and perks you took. And then here are the forced mysteries that were applied, and the modifier tiles, if any, that were applied, and then what you ended up with as far as final population. So it's kind of a good summary of what you ended up with. Whether you won or lost is here, and then what biome it was played in is here. But the other thing here that we just unlocked as part of the upgrades that we just unlocked is the home, and that's right here. You can see it added it to the screen, and that is our home. And within our home, you're about to meet Aunt Lori. What is your relation to her? So this is asking you, are you masculine or feminine, male or female, etc. So I'm going to go with nephew. And as soon as you step into your new home, you notice a richly clothed woman standing by the window, her gaze fixed on the citadel. Hey, Auntie. Lori looks around the empty room. Well, isn't this a nice-looking house? Back in my day, fresh viceroys would sleep on the floor of the Svar Tavern. How was your training? I'm still confused. I know, dear. That's a lot to take in at once. So many new things and so little time. Learning can feel like climbing a mountain. I promised my sister I would look after you, and I plan on keeping that promise. As a member of the Queen's Hands, there is much I can teach you, but knowledge is of no value unless you put it into practice. For now, focus on exploration. Try new things. Venture into uncharted territory. That's actually a really good piece of advice. So she can give you different pieces of advice as you come in here and visit her, or talk to her. Also, that one deed that we unlocked that gave us a painting, that you can see that here on the wall. And as we unlock more deeds that give more home decorations, you'll see them on the shelves here, on this tabletop here, on the various walls and things, and even hanging from the ceiling over time. I think even the hearth is decorated with some stuff. Let me sit here for a short while. So we can ask her if there's something you don't understand. You can ask her some more questions here. And she can give you some tips on how to move through that or past that aspect of the game. A lot of these will line up with some of the various tutorials that I have here on YouTube. So if you are also having trouble with this and her tips here don't help you enough, maybe check out my tutorials. Let me know what you might be missing in those tutorials in terms of if there's some aspect of the game that I didn't cover, that component of the game, or any aspect that I didn't cover at all. And we can do this. I'm still working through those tutorials, by the way, so there's some that are still a little bit out of date, and I'm working on updating them. So we can just say we're fine for right now and go. If you come back here every town or two, you can ask her different questions and have a little bit different interaction. And for the most part in this series, we're going to completely ignore it, but I want to just make sure that you know that it's there and you can use it for that. So let's back out. Actually, I lied. Let's go back in for just one more moment. In addition to unlocking our house, we also unlocked a couple of other buildings here. You can see them here and here, and that's because we unlocked the Pioneer's Gate, level 1, and the First Dawn headquarters, level 1 as well. And that's one of these and one of those. I'm guessing this is the Pioneer's Gate, and that is the First Dawn headquarters. Because we already had this one, which was the original one, which is the Obsidian Archive. And I made the comment before, and I'll make it again. This will be the last time I make it, though. For those of you who are tired of hearing it, it would be kind of neat if by upgrading these to the next levels, this building somehow changed or grew, especially like maybe it could grow taller. One of them is a tower. It'd be nice if that tower would grow taller as part of it. It'd be kind of a neat progressive visual effect. But I understand that's a minor thing, and was less important than gameplay things. But anyways, let's back out of that and let's find a new place to go. So we have a very, very limited range, and we have to embark from Trader's Rest. You notice the arrow is always linked back to there because that's where our caravan is. And this is a relatively recent change to the game late in the early access period. But because we have such a limited visual range, going into one of these spots here is actually negative, a little bit of a negative for us, because if the area that you are departing into, which has 6 tiles adjacent to it, is overlapping with the area that you already claimed as part of playing this game, this town, then you do not get the benefit from the tile that is overlapping. And you can kind of see that here, where we have one tile that is overlapped, and therefore we don't get a benefit from that. And you can see that somewhat by seeing that there are 36. We could get 36 food stockpiles if we embarked upon this point. Whereas if we came over to here, where it's overlapped by 2, then we're reduced down to 30 food stockpiles if we overlapped at this point. Now, I kind of would like to do this corrosive torrent, at least at some point, but I also don't necessarily want to do the overlap. However, getting that machinery would be kind of nice to kind of get moving. And we also, by the way, by doing a corrosive torrent or any other negative world map modifier, we actually also would get a what is it called? A royal resupply. There you can see it at the bottom of that tooltip, and that's also symbolized here on this tooltip by the chest icon there, and that is a random award from a set of rewards that you can choose from, and gives you some benefit for the rest of the storm period. So I would like to get to that one, but I also don't want to do an overlap if we can avoid it. And I also don't want to necessarily do another Royal Woodlands unless we can't otherwise avoid it. I definitely don't want to do a double overlap. We could come out here, but again, this is another Royal Woodlands, so I'm less interested in doing that one. But that would give us 42 because all 7 tiles are available to us. We could come in here, we could go out here, but they're all Royal Woodlands. This way is too much Royal Woodlands except for that one marshlands that's too close. Alternatively, we could come out here. We could do this Cursed Royal Woodlands. We will do Cursed Royal Woodlands at some point. They're a little bit more advanced, so I want to do a little bit other stuff if we can first, plus the overlap again. And again, a marshlands with a double overlap, a marshlands here with a single overlap, but it also has the watchtower. So we could do that one. That gives us a little bit of benefit. Not great, but a little bit. Royal Woodlands with a double overlap, but also the watchtower. But here's a Scarlet Orchard. And not only does this Scarlet Orchard not overlap, we do get, by the way, this tile and this tile that are here. They're not visible on the map because they're not playable, but they do give you an award or a reward for completing successfully. This Scarlet Orchard here, which is the final tile we can actually even get to, will give us all the food stockpiles possible. You can compare that to this being 45, and then that's 6 more at 51. It'll give us the two seal fragments, and it'll also give us the ability to explore a new biome, the Scarlet Orchard. So I think we should do that one, although this might come to bite me later, because we're going to probably either have to go into more of that, or back into the Royal Woodlands, or maybe we could come back this way. Maybe we can come back that way. It'll be over an overlap still, but we'll have to suffer through until we get a little bit more embarkation, visibility, and range as part of the upgrades tree. So let's click on this Scarlet Orchard and see what we can accomplish. So if you didn't see my tutorial on the biomes and how they are different, you can read the summary here. I'm not going to read it out to you. We're going to stay on Pioneer for at least one more map. I will step up fairly soon to Veteran, but for right now we're going to stay on Pioneer just to kind of balance with all of the non-experienced viewers. We of course get an additional point, or still stay at 14 and 14 here, and we are getting the 51 and 2 and 70 experience points like we just talked about. Fertile soil here is an average amount, and we're going to stay with Pioneer, so we're going to stay with 2 greens and 3 reds. We have the Watchtower world map modifier. That's because it's adjacent. The Royal Guard is watching over this region. Discovering glades doesn't increase hostility. This one's a fun one, and I'm going to be interested to do this one because we can open as many glades as we want, and we're going to do that, especially the small guys. We're just going to open up glades like crazy people. And then also, this biome has 2 biome effects. One is a building blueprint, and one is a biome effect. We're going to read this one first. Buried Mysteries. A lush and exotic land filled with prehistoric remains. Ancient excavation sites can be found here. And the Royal Archaeologist, which is a building. Every viceroy embarking on an expedition to the Scarlet Orchard is assigned a Royal Archaeologist. You gain access to a new essential building, Archaeologist's Office. Now, it says you gain access to a new essential building. That is true. It is only for this biome. You will not see this building in any other biome. And it's only for this biome because it's specifically targeted toward helping you find and then use some of the benefits you get from the buried mysteries. So we're going to give this a try. The trees in the Scarlet Orchard have a little bit different resources in them than the ones we just experienced in the Royal Woodlands. Wood, of course, but also copper, pigment, and plant fiber still. So that's what, well, we'll see. And then also, we have, on the ground, we have reeds, which we didn't have before. Stone, which we didn't have before. Berries, which we did. Roots, which we did. Eggs, which we did. Although there might be different kinds of eggs. I can't remember which one this one has. Herbs, which we didn't have on the ground before, but we were farming for them. Grain is available on the ground here as well. Sea marrow, which we did have. And copper is available and mineable. So we can get copper both from the trees and from a mine off the ground. Finally, we'll choose our caravan. We have 6 here, no bonus people, or we have 7 here, 2 bonus people. This also is 6 beavers, and this has a split between the two as you're starting. So I usually try to do a split if I can, definitely if there's more people, and this is a nice bonus. This is also kind of a garbage package of goods. I mean, yes, these are all the same, but 2 stacks of food and a stack of plant fiber versus some cooked food, 2 stacks of food and some planks and some people. This is totally worth it. So we're going to go with this group, 5 lizards, 2 beavers, and some humans possibly, depending on who comes in with these as these 2 people. Over here at our embarkation bonuses, we got 3 villagers for the cost of 2 points. I'm going to take them for 2 reasons. 1, 2 people is good. Or 3 people is good. 3 people is really good. The other reason is because if I don't, then I can't actually spend all my embarkation points. And I gotta spend all my embarkation points. For this purpose, we're not gonna take the eggs because we get 30 eggs available, or we're bringing 30 eggs with us. So I'm gonna bring some roots with us as well as the wood. Although we probably don't need to bring the wood, maybe, maybe not. But I'm definitely gonna take the villagers. That spends all 4 of our embarkation points. We're staying on Pioneer. We're not gonna bother naming our settlement because I never really do, and we're gonna embark. Okay, so again, in addition to these 3 additional effects we just talked about, we also have our forest mysteries. Royal funding. The Queen's generosity knows no limits. Gain 2 amber every time you sell goods worth 10 amber. Well, that's worth it. That's like a 20% markup on amber and on goods sales. Deal. That means we want to try and get the traders here as much as possible in the drizzle, which means that we'll want to take that trader speed reduction or trader speed, whatever, increase so they come more often if we can find a perk for that. So you get them here during the drizzle every year, which means we need to get it shortened to ideally 8 minutes or less for the trader arrival. Clear skies increases the speed. Or sorry, yes, 8 minutes for their away time. Clear skies increases the speed at which traders arrive by 300%. Well, maybe we don't, because the trader's going to arrive 4 times faster anyway. That means every 3 minutes, I think, by default. It's crazy. That's really nice to be together, by the way. That's a great combination. Looming Darkness, we have that. We always have that, so I'm not going to read it again. No contact. Harsh weather conditions make it impossible to reach the Citadel. Gaining a reputation doesn't lower impatience during the storm from hostility 2 onward. And this is why I rarely turn in orders during the storm. Not that you get this any more often than anything else, necessarily, but it's kind of a habit that I got into, not opening glades during the storm, not turning in orders during the storm. For that reason, and also because turning in orders will reduce your impatience, which will raise your hostility, which is not always the best thing to do during the storm. And opening glades, with the exception of this, will also increase your hostility which is not always a good thing to do during the storm. So those two activities I try and avoid anyway. The next one here at Hostility 2 in the storm, onward. Hailstorm. Death by 1,000 hailstones. There's no way to be safe without a roof over your head. So villagers with this effect will have a 5% increased chance of perishing every 15 seconds. To prevent it, fulfill the following need. Housing. I am very adamant about housing. I try and actually keep up with housing. So this is one of the reasons, because you get these types of effects. There's a few of these that have some kind of effect if you don't have housing. The part that makes this so amusing to me is that the people never go to their houses. So the roof over their heads doesn't make a difference because they never actually go there. But I get it. It's a video game. And then also Hostility 3, Rot from the Sky. The rain smells like blight rot. Global food production is slowed by 15% for each hostility level. Not so bad. I mean, getting to Hostility 3, it'll be a little bit rough, but not so bad. Because you just have to do most of your food production not in the storm. So let's go ahead and get in here and get started on the game. Yes, I know, choose a blueprint. I can probably turn off those somewhere. I'll look off camera, I think. Here in the starting biome, we have some reeds and some roots, so we'll take care of those. We're also going to get going on the wood cutting, so I'm going to set up a couple of these. Wait a minute. Nope. A couple of these here in the... wait, is this too narrow? Oh, no. Bummer. Okay. These are closer together than I like, and it causes me problems. And we're going to have to pick out where we want to go first. Now, we can open up any glade we want, as far as hostility is concerned, but as far as anything else is concerned, we're going to be careful. So we'll build 2 of those. We're also going to build our usual tic-tac-toe board of roads, but the disappointing part is this middle part here is only a 2x3, not a 3x4, not a 4x4 like I prefer and or like. So we're going to have to do a little bit of reconfiguration with our building arrangements, but that'll be fine. I think I'll hit this glade first and pretty fast, and I think I'll have them clear some trees over here to put housing in, maybe in this corner, and open that glade up. Let's do it. Build, please. So they're going to go grab some stuff to build these while a couple of them work on the roads. We did not get any humans with all those additional people, but we ended up with 12 people, which means we should need to build 4 houses. Notice here, we can do it, it's fine, at least for a minute. The coal is unchecked again. We checked it during the last town, but because I have my default set to only be wood to start with, is only wood to start with. Let's see, let's put in 3 beavers here, and you can go over here, and you can start doing something like this, and then we'll take this one over here, and you can go there, and we'll put the other beavers plus a lizard in here. And you all can do something like this. What I usually like to do while they're doing the building of the roads is give them the crude workstation, which I want to do... You know what? I think I will still put... No, I'm going to put it over here. Crude workstation, and maybe the makeshift post bank. I'm going to wait on that. But what I usually like to do is take a look at what this first blueprint choice is going to be. Lumber mill for the nice plank recipe. Kiln for the nice coal recipe and an okay brick recipe, or a weaver for a nice fabric recipe and some others. We've seen all 3 of these buildings before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. As I promised at the beginning of the series, the playthrough is going to accelerate, starting with this town. We're only going to talk about stuff that's new, not stuff that's the same. So these are all the same. For me here, I would probably say to take the kiln, but I'm going to see what I get for orders and cornerstones first. Which we will get in just a few seconds. Let's also speed the game up a little bit. So we're going to pop that glade and pop this glade, at least eventually. We can get them to... Well, they're still building that. We can still have them go ahead and start making some shelters in their queue kind of thing here. Alright, so our first cornerstone choice, cannibalism. Gain 30 meat every time a villager dies or leaves. Well, if the name of the cornerstone didn't tell you where the meat's coming from, You could have guessed, I think. Or reinforced axes. Woodcutting is a lot easier. Woodcutter's camp production is 35% quicker. I'm thinking we probably won't have anybody leave or die, so I'm probably not going to take this one. I'm more than likely to take this reinforced axes because, by the way, the trees give us only 1 wood plus 60% chance, plus 10% chance for copper, 5% chance for pigment, and a 5% chance for plant fiber. So we're going to probably take that, but let's take a look at what these orders are first. Sell goods worth at least 10 amber to a trader or trade route. Well, we're going to want to do that because of these that we have. By the way, I'm going to sit on that trade route until year 2, the trader rather, and we don't have trade routes yet. We didn't unlock that in the upgrades tree. Or have 6 lizards. We had both of these before, amber, oil, and 2 villagers. Or get that upgraded trapper's camp, which isn't that great here. The only thing here that it can even harvest is eggs. But a bonus to the leather, which we don't get here at all, except maybe from the eggs and some insects. So I think this one's actually the better one to take. So let's take this one. Here, send away 10 planks to get some parts, some fabric, and some bricks. That's a pretty good straightforward one. And then again, the trapper's objective comes in again, which we could turn in right away. So one advantage to this is we could turn this in right away. But these perks are just not that great in this biome. I mean, maybe we'll probably see a 2-star egg recipe somewhere, but I don't know. So I think I will take this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this one. And we can deliver that right away. I'm going to sit on it for a while. If you remember, I want to make sure that I get this to 1 point before I turn any orders in. Because you lose, or it subtracts 1 point, and if you don't get to subtract the whole point, then you lose some of the benefit. So I'm going to wait. Complete any 2 glade events, and deliver 3 packs of building materials to get 30 jerky, 3 parts, and 4 people, or keep lizard resolve above 13 for 30 seconds to get 2 additional lizards, some meat, and some parts. Given that 30 jerky is equal to, depending on the recipe, about well, about 12 meat, I would say, give or take, maybe. This isn't that great of a comparison, but 2 additional people's kind of good, and having jerky means that you don't have to make it, and I think I like this one better anyway. So let's do this one. Cornerstone, reinforced axes. Building choice. I should probably take the planks recipe here at the lumber mill, because we got the one that needs to have planks, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take the kiln, so we can turn some of our wood into coal, so we can stretch that wood a little bit further, and then we'll get a little bit of brick recipe there too. Carpenter, thank you. That's the one I want, is the carpenter anyway. So that gives us a pack of luxury goods at 2 stars, tools at 2 stars. Cookhouse could be good. We may want it, although we shouldn't. We hopefully won't need to make pigment. And then we looked at the lumber mill already, so I think I'm going to go with the carpenter here. Lumber mill returns the clothier. Gives us that coats plus the water skins and scrolls, or the rain mill, which gives us flour, scrolls, and packs of building materials. They all give us 1-star scrolls, which is kind of amusing. They all have 5 stars total of recipes. Flour is a really good thing to have. Coats are a really good thing to have. We don't need the planks now. So basically it's only a 3-star recipe in my opinion. I'm going to go with the rain mill, I think, here. Packs of building materials will be nice to do this one with, so we don't have to make them at the makeshift post, and that'll be kind of a good combination, I think. Let's do it. Let's move you all up a little bit more, and also build some more road here. And you're kind of going out that way, so you're not going to be as, let's go there, as whatever, and let's do this. And what do we have? We have a small encampment, some fertile soil, that's good. As soon as we get a farm, we can use it. And stone. 3 nodes of stone, 20 charges each. Okay, clear that. So we're going to open up this encampment at some point, but I think I'm going to wait for a little while. And instead we will get some of these trees cut, of course. Open this up, though, like that. And that'll be helpful. Let's get that kiln going, hopefully. Do I have it? I don't have the bricks for it. That means we need to start making bricks. Let's do a higher priority on bricks. I don't have any stone. We're going to have to mine the stone first then. Camp, Stonecutter's Camp, go. And let's put somebody to work in here. A lizard, sure. We're going to do stone. We're going to do planks from that. I want to limit you to 4. And planks, how many planks do I need? 5 plus 2 fabric. Actually, don't make me any planks. Make me fabric instead. Use whatever you can get your hands on. And let's do it. Send that back. Yeah, we need to open up or start harvesting some of this stuff as well. Harvester camp. Okay, you can come out here. Set up right there, maybe. And I'm going to put somebody to work right there. Turn that. Turn that. Actually, let's push this up. Put in another house. Can I put it in there yet? Yes, I can. And then I also need the park. There you go. Build, build, build. Let's get another worker assigned to this. That way they can start picking up the reeds, which we'll use to make the fabric. And you're stuck because you have nothing to do. Great. This glade gives us roots, herbs, and copper vein. 2 copper nodes on the ground. Look just like, or basically just like the coal veins we saw in the last town, except that they're copper. And by the way, the coal ones give you a possibility for stone as a % chance secondary ingredient or secondary item. The copper gives us a chance for clay. So roots, herbs, and copper here in this small glade. We're just going to let them keep chopping away. You all too. Push this over here though. Just keep going. Last house is going up. The production buildings will take resources not only from this warehouse, whatever the nearest warehouse is, but also from nearby gathering or other production buildings. You can see the arrows there. So what's going on is when this person gets bored and they need to go grab some more materials, they'll actually run over here and see what the herbalist has to take, or the harvester rather, excuse me, has to take, and that's where they're grabbing the reeds from to where they can then make this directly, which also saves this worker potentially from having to go and deliver to the storage, even though they are right now, because this worker is going to take them from them automatically, which is kind of a nice thing. They added that, I don't know, midway through sometime, the upgrade or the early access period. Let's see, should I just have you work on those additional trees over there? Possibly, but I actually want to look for the first archaeology thing, which is going to be in a small glade. So there are 3 what are those things called again? Buried mysteries on every orchard, every Scarlet Orchard map, and one will be in a small glade, one will be in a danger glade, and one will be in a forbidden glade. So keep an eye out for those. We are now at 1.53 impatience, so let's turn this in. That'll give us some fabric and some bricks, which is really nice to have, really necessary to have even. And that gives us the ability to get this kiln going, which I want to put in here. And also, the archaeologist office will build in a little while. The rain mill, not yet. I want the carpenter instead. And I'm going to put that in right here. This will actually be a good spot for some 2x3s. Probably back it up with the rain mill. But I want to get these 2 built first. First. So build away. Planks is turned off. Bricks we can turn off now. And you can send those bricks back. There you go. You can just make me some fabric from now on. we can set the recipes while we're waiting. We put somebody to work in there. And they can make jerky if we ever find any meat or bugs. They can use coal for the fuel. And we'll make the jerky at 6 to 10 at this low recipe. So I was a little bit off in my guess, but hey, it was a guess. Our next blueprint choice. Small farm, we could take that. I may take that if I don't like either of these other ones. The forager gives us the ability to harvest grain, roots, and vegetables. We're going to see grain and roots on the ground here. And then the herbalist camp gets us herbs, berries, and mushrooms, which we have herbs and berries on the ground here. Do I want the small farm? I think so. Let's do it. I want all three of these, to be perfectly honest with you. But I'm not going to get them, so we'll just have to deal with it. Let's go ahead and have them queue those up, as well as a small farm right in here. Oh, it's going to block my road. Jerks. Let's do it like this. So the road will have to go some way, but that's fine. We'll deal with it. It's okay. It's okay, Wally. It's okay. Go over there. We'll build a mine, but not yet this year, I don't think. Mine is a terrible thing to waste, but also, yeah. I'm going to turn off these two recipes for right now. I'm going to pull one of our beaver woodcutters out of... I'm probably going to pull this lizard out, too. Okay, you, and maybe over here, one of you. Put them in here to work on making planks. Double check. Correct. And, that way we have more work going on out here. We're still at hostility 0, which is great. Which means none of these, except for, of course, looming darkness, affects us for this first storm. But we also have 0 homelessness, so that's great. I want to get a couple things built during this storm. One of those is the trading post, which I'm just going to have them build right here for right now. We'll probably move it later, but just right here for right now is fine. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. That's done. Let's move over here. Still building these things. Let's actually put this at priority 1. I don't have any humans, so farming is going to be kind of low on my priority, although there is one in here. Maybe we should. This has a golden treasure stag plus 20 or plus 3 nodes of stone. Excellent. So golden treasure stags are an alternate or another type of small glade event. In these treasure stags, they will, once you uncover this glade, they will sprint off into another glade, another danger glade, always a danger glade, and if you can open up this danger glade before this counter is done, then you get to claim that treasure stag at your leisure. You don't do it right away, but you also have to deal with that glade right away. This is a bit, ouch, but I think we should try it, and we'll see what happens. So I want to take you guys over here. We have 4 woodcutters, that's fine for right now. And then let's cut into this glade. I'm going to do the control just to cut the trees first, and then once we get a little bit closer, then we'll cut the glade open. I want this to be done before the storm ends. That way, the trader will show up right away. And that gets our timer kind of working out properly, I think. Let's see. Let's do this before we lose any materials, even though I don't like doing it this early. Just 1, though. Go ahead. That'll be fine, I think. And the other one can do some of this building. Alright, so we have to deal with the treasure stag fairly quickly. Or open up this glade fairly quickly. And Jorg is here to kick us off. Jorg is selling us an herb garden. If we hadn't just bought the blueprint for the farm, I might have considered it. +2 to porridge. +5 to farmer carry. One of the things to note for the herb garden, and for the farms in general, even if you don't intend to use a farm, taking the blueprint for it, especially here, if you have the amber to spend, means that you can... it doesn't appear in your random blueprints for each one of these little diamonds you get down the road. You're pulling it out of the pool, basically, by buying it. Now, we, of course, don't really have the money to buy it right now. Even selling a bunch of stuff, we would have a hard time, except for maybe the parts, except for definitely the parts, getting to enough money to be able to buy it. But that's just a tip, maybe a little bit like mid to later. Well, even in mid to later game, you're not going to have very much amber. So this is a bit tough to sell anything except more parts. We could take a look at the orders. We're going to get 3 parts here. We got 5 from that one already. We could potentially part with a few parts, but I think I'm just going to let Jorg go, and we're just going to ride this year out with whatever we get. Cornerstone. Family Gratitude. We had this one last time. 40 water skins for every full reputation point. Obtained through a resolve. In this biome, barrels is probably your best bet for manufacturing a vessel, because you get copper available to you and you just need to smelt it. There are a couple of buildings that have smelting recipes even at the beginning of the game, and it uses planks as long as you have a decent plank recipe. Barrels are pretty cheap then. Otherwise, I would probably say pottery, except that you're a little bit limited with the pottery on how much clay you're going to get, because you're only going to get clay from the copper mining. So this could be useful, especially early on if you had a pickled goods recipe. That'd be a really good thing to do. Or we could do protected trade, which is every time you sell goods worth 30 amber, minus 10 to hostility. And I think we took this one last time, but I think we're going to do this one again, so that we, because we're going to be selling a lot, hopefully, to accommodate these two, or else specifically that one. So I think we'll try to do that to kind of stack them up together. And let's take down a couple more trees here. I'm going to take actually a couple of these out, using the Alt key modifier for that purpose. Dang it, Wally. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. Forget it. Take that tree too. I don't care. Cut these down. Let's put some more people to work. Oh no. Let's take some people. We still don't have any humans. There's 3 people there though. Let's take them and let's put at least one of you to work. I would like to get this done. We still haven't started it yet. We could throw another lizard at it to get it done in half the time. Cut 30 seconds off. I think that's probably worth it. And I think I'm going to put one of them in here as well. I was hoping we would have some humans ready, or that human ready, or get some, but we didn't. Sad. There we go. Alright, large stone deposits. Root deposits, small, that's good. Stone deposits, small, that's good. 3 more copper veins, which is why, another reason why I hesitated on putting a mine out here. There's only 2 veins here. There are 3 out here. You don't get the copper any faster, but what you get is more charges, so you don't have to move the mines around or delete the mines as often, whatever. A large encampment, medium abandoned cache, the golden treasure stag, and of course our glade event is fallen lizard hunters. Let's take a look at that, which is underneath the symbol here, so I cleared it. Here in fallen lizard hunters, and there's also a comparable event for fallen X species hunters. We have a little more than 10 minutes to solve this. If we don't, it spawns at least 2 blood flowers. Blood flowers are, well, they were mentioned, I think, at some point in something we read last town, but blood flowers are an additional type of glade event that you have to deal with, that will have adverse effects if you don't, but they don't count toward those complete X amount of glade events, types of orders and things like that. Nor do they count for any stacks for any perks you might have for any of those. So they're a little bit of an odd glade event type. There's another glade event type as well from the Fishman, which we haven't encountered yet. For this one, we can rob the dead, -8 to lizard resolve while this is being worked, and it will cost us some jerky, some tools, and some jerky, some tools, and some water skins. Or we can pay 8 amber, which we don't have, plus 15 of one of these 4 things, which we also don't have, and we get a half of reputation point. We're going to rob the dead. What I want to do, though, is go and borrow that other one from here, which is going to extend the time back up again some, but that's okay, because it's, well, it's going to start the investigation. People are going to get a little sad, but what this did, if you saw, it went to 41 seconds from like 20 seconds. And that's because we got credit for the 10 seconds we spent, well, 9.5, I guess is probably what it was. We spent at 2 people, and so we got the 19 seconds chopped off of the time when we knocked it back down to 1. So the game is fair to you like that. If you add and remove workers, it will help you out with those types of things. Let's put you back here, and let's open this up a little bit more. I'm going to probably widen this even more here, some of this. Jorg is leaving. So this treasure stag is here, and it's here. Oh, no, it isn't actually here. Wait. The treasure stag will disappear. Uh-oh, I got to deal with this. I forgot. We need to deal with this treasure stag. We can choose a reward. You will take all the treasure, but the forest will curse your riches for robbing one of its ancient sprites. Or, the golden treasure stag will share some of its riches with you. I think we'll do the empathy and some of, and investigate, which doesn't take workers, by the way. You just need to come in here and deal with this, and investigate. And that gives us a small ancient artifact, a strange device left behind by the great civilization. When soaked in rainwater, it radiates warm light and brings encouragement to those around it. This is a perk. It makes it sound like it's a decoration, but it's just a perk. It gives us +1 to global resolve. We also have 25 amber that we got from the stag for free. Well, by charging into this glade headlong. So that's great. What do we have here? Two of each of those. We should do that if we can. We can't. We can't afford it. Let's do a camp for foraging. Yes. Foragers camp here. Hold on, I'm going to set it up here and we'll put it over there. Because we got lots of roots to pick up. Let's get those started as soon as possible. Human, come here and plant what you can. I'm going to give you a lizard to work with. We'll plant what we can, though. And these guys will be done soon enough. Soon enough. We also need to get some houses built. Oh, run around, run around. We need 2 houses total built, so we'll do like that, I think. I don't have any. I have 1 builder right now. We're leaving that beaver as a builder, or we could swap them in here and throw the lizard out to be a builder instead. Let's do this and this. Just kind of clear some trees. And we got some orders to pick from, too. Pick. Build 50 paths. Super simple. Super easy. Do it. If it's the best, if there's not a better choice. Gives us 5 amber and 15 stone. Over here, lizard influx, deliver 35 meat. We're not going to see meat here. Maybe from eggs we'll get a little bit of meat. I'm not even going to bother with trying that one. I would rather use the meat for food rather than delivering it. Even though it will give us some training gear and 5 more lizards and 25 coal, I'm still going to go with this one. We could turn that in right now if we wanted, and maybe we should. Let's do it. Here, pottery and wine have 30 wine, which or deliver 30 wine, and 25 pottery. Wine won't be so bad, but pottery, I assume we get a recipe that is. Pottery is going to be a little more tough, as we talked about. Although we're going to get enough clay that as long as we get a recipe for it, or we could buy it from a trader, we could probably pull this off. +2 to wine production, though. So if we can get wine made, then we can get a bonus to producing it. Some reeds, which, by the way, reeds are one of the ingredients used in making wine. In addition, opposite mushrooms and berries as the 3 source ingredients, and then a vessel, of course, and 6 tools, or give away 8 packs of crops and have at least 10 comfort decorations. Get 3 humans, human resolve, and 2 parts. I might just do this one, but what I want to do first is take a look at the packs of crops recipe, just to verify that I'm not an insane person. So let's take a look at the packs of crops recipe. And am I insane? Good, we can use grain here. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to do that one. That's not what I wanted yet. Up here, this one. and this one. We're going to make the packs of crops out of grain, and then we're going to use them for flour after that, or in addition to that. Next recipe, or next building choice, Scribe. 3-star scrolls, 2-star ale, 1-star tools. This gives us a benefit of 2 stars toward the scrolls, because we already have 1-star scroll recipe. It gives us 2-star ale, and the tools is useless. Clothier gives us that nice coats recipe, as well as a water skin recipe we probably won't be able to use, or at least not use much, and again scrolls. Or the Provisioner, which has a 2-star flour, has barrels on it though, which would be useful, and packs of provisions at 2 stars. Since we didn't unlock trade routes, the packs of provisions isn't that useful, so I think I'm going to go with the Clothier here. And then, we can clear this now too. And I think we're going to end this episode here. I went still a little longer than I intended. I want to make them a little bit shorter than the last 2 have been. Hopefully I can accomplish that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. The big issue is that time. My availability is a little bit... bumping up against an hour is a little bit tough for me to maintain. So I don't want to do too much of that. Of being this long, I want to keep them around 45 to 50 minutes. So we'll see if I can accomplish that by the end of this town, and then we'll go from there. So we're going to leave this here for now, and in the next episode, we will attempt to do some more progression here. We can open up some more danger glades, of course. We still need to find that artifact, which is probably either then in maybe one of those 2, but probably in this one. I'm just kind of guessing. It could be out here, but it's usually in a close by small glade. So we'll see if we can find it. If we can't find it, we can use the archaeologist building. That's the archaeologist office here to help us find it. So, but you at the cost of a nice perk that the building offers. So I want to at least try to find that first one on our own, so we can get the perk instead. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.